you have the possibility of finding the synergy between broadband and optical fiber and enhancing the resilience of the rest of the infrastructure.
You want to give up an example of that, Paul? So I think there's a lot of buzzwords in there that make sense because we've been having this conversation for a while. But let's take just a really practical kind of use case example. Um, you're talking
Sure.
about fiber and broadband and resilience. And let's say we're doing this build out. What does that mean? How does that make roadways more resilient, or how does that help other systems?
Sure. So I'll distill it down to probably the simplest example that I'm aware of, and that's damage prevention. So to have the insight as to when your aging infrastructure is going to break down, so you can have a chance to get in there and fix it before it does, or to have the insight before someone inadvertently damages your infrastructure so that something shuts down that you didn't want to, is actually extremely important. Optical fiber right now in the industry, everyone knows it's the panacea for providing great bandwidth for our internet to work, right? But what people don't know is that the same optical fiber that's being used for bandwidth can also be used for damage prevention. And without getting into all the details, which I'd love to in another forum, and I have, uh, fiber adjacent to utilities, be they water utilities, be they dams and structures, or electric grid, or gas or oil, can provide a distributed sensor that enables the asset to be protected by alerting people before or when something is happening to the asset. So when I mentioned a few minutes ago about 3 to 5 trillion and how we're going to have a really tough time finding that going forward, there's probably a much smaller proportion of that that we could spend on innovation that will give us, even in an aging or a perhaps inadequately built infrastructure, fast alerts and the ability to actually protect and monitor and lower the maintenance costs and the capital costs within whatever constraints we have.